You decide who you are, and here is why. You see, 3 days ago, I ran a marathon for the first time ever in my life. And the marathon didn't really go as planned, to say the least, because I had signed up for this marathon just to kind of force myself to run a little bit more, challenge myself physically and mentally. I'd been in the gym for a while, ran a half marathon last year, but I completely stopped doing any sort of cardio really after that. So I was like, okay, let me sign up for a marathon this year and just kind of challenge myself a little bit and just have a good excuse to explore Italy, travel a little bit and do some cool shit, right? Now, I didn't really do much training for this marathon either. So I'd only kind of ran 12 miles a week. That's like 20K for European guys. And just kind of kept up a little bit of a pace, right? But nothing really serious. I kind of underestimated the marathon as well. I thought it was going to be easier than what it was, but I was just determined to finish the thing. I didn't really care about the time. I wanted to finish in less than 4 hours, but I just wanted to finish. That was my thing, challenge myself and do it. So I ended up on the start line, ready to go. First 5K went pretty quickly, pretty well. I was on pace, doing everything that I kind of expected to do. However, 20K in, which is what's 12, yeah, 12 miles in, my body just completely cramped up. So I could kind of feel a little bit of tension in my legs. But at 12 miles in, my body completely cramped up. Like I was genuinely paralyzed. Like all of a sudden, both of my legs, my arms, my back, everything just cramped completely. My muscles contracted like crazy. And I just stood still. I was completely paralyzed. And eventually I just kind of fell down on the ground. And obviously somebody came up and was like, yo, are you good? Do you need an ambulance? And all of this shit. And that's when it hit me. I was like, holy shit, my race is about to end right here because like I can't take another step. And then this woman comes up and she's like, we got an ambulance for you. Like they're here, they're gonna take you and whatnot. And that shit almost offended me. Because I'm gonna tell you one thing. I hadn't really trained. I underestimated marathon and all of this shit, but I had one very clear goal in mind, and that was to finish no matter what. And when I cramped up, I almost started crying because it was so fucking painful. I can't describe it. It was like all of my muscles were completely contracted. I was paralyzed from even moving. And then this chick came up and said, we have an ambulance ready for you. It offended me. And I just told her, no, help me get back up and I'll walk the rest if I have to. And then she started saying, well, you can't walk for 21K because I have to finish the race in a certain amount of time. Otherwise, it wouldn't count. So I just like nodded my head and fucking kept walking away. And eventually I just started jogging and slowly but surely started running a little bit again. And I say all of this because at that point in time when it happened and when I cramped up, I genuinely felt like, holy shit, I physically can't do anything. However, my mind was in a completely different place. Like I said, I felt like my body couldn't do, but my mind didn't feel. My mind was determined to finish no matter what. So, my core message here for you guys is that I obviously kept walking, kept jogging, and I finished the race no matter what it took. It took me way longer than I anticipated, and I spent almost twice as long finishing the last part of that marathon than I did the first part. But I still finished and I crossed that line and I felt so many emotions. I genuinely like had tears running down my face after I'd finished because I had fucking been limping for 21K for 12 miles straight, just limping across until I finally got to the finish line, right? So my point being is that this all happened because my mind was determined to finish no matter what. And I decided who I wanted to be in that situation. You are capable of so much more than your mind thinks. And I really want to preference this and say that you determine who you are. You can be the guy that quits when adversity hits, right? When your body cramps up and when you're paralyzed and you genuinely feel like you can't even take a step, you can quit right there. Or you can be the guy that says, I'm going to finish no matter what. And I'm finishing until they fucking throw me off the track. That's essentially the mindset that I had after it happened. Because I started walking and I was like, fuck no, like they're going to have to force me out of this race until I give up. It's the only solution out there. I was genuinely limping. Like I couldn't walk, but I was still there in the race. And I eventually finished all because of my mind. Like I told my friend and my mom and my dad, they were so proud of me, but I told them like, dude, the last half of the marathon was just pure willpower. Like there was genuinely couldn't even feel my legs. Like there was genuinely no real like physicality behind it. It was so just pure willpower. And this is what I want to give you guys with this story. It's like you hear when everybody's talking about the marathon, you always hear people talk about the wall. You don't want to hit the wall. This is how you avoid the wall, the wall, the wall, right? Now, here's the cool thing about the quote unquote wall. The wall doesn't make or break the race necessarily, right? It's not even about hitting the wall or not hitting the wall. It's about what do you do when the wall hits you, right? This applies to anything in life. The wall is in business. The wall is in a marathon. The wall is in a relationship. Are you the one that stops when the wall hits and you're like, fuck, I need to turn around because there's a wall here? Or are you the guy that just like breaks through the wall and keeps going forward, right? It's crazy, but it really comes down to your mind and having your mind in the right headspace, realizing that you are the one that determines who you are and what you want to achieve in anything in life. If you're stupid enough to believe it and you genuinely believe it, no matter what, you will achieve it. And I've realized this in more aspects of life, but it really, really, really hit me when I ran this marathon because I had so many emotions along the way. But it hit me so much because I was like, I had never felt anything like this ever in my life, especially not physically. And it was such a challenge mentally, but it really, really showed me that you are capable of so much more than you think, and it's all in your mind because you can do so much more than what you think. And I proved that to myself. And I hope that with this story, I can prove to you that the case is the same for you because it doesn't matter if it's about a marathon, if it's about the gym, if it's about business, whatever it might be. In this video, I genuinely just want to give you the proper message of realizing that you determine who you are and you can do way more than you think. So if you can go deep within yourself and your mind and go into whatever dream you have, go into whatever thought process you have, and tell yourself to genuinely believe it no matter what. Like you have to be all fucking in on it because I can't stress this enough. I was limping so much and was going back and forth, but I could feel it because I looked at my watch right here and I checked my pulse and my heart rate and my pulse like it wasn't really that high. My heart rate was like fucking 146 or some shit. And like my max heart rate goes above 200. So I was like, my heart rate is at 146. Like this is not difficult for me, but it's my legs aren't physically prepared. Like they can't comprehend any more groundwork, right? So my mind was there, my heart was there, but I realized that it wasn't that I was tired. My body just couldn't grasp another step, right? But I was so mentally determined that I was going to finish this no matter what, and I genuinely believed it. I was so mad when they had fucking gotten me this ambulance and shit that I was gonna finish this. Like it pissed me off, and was sitting there and genuinely believing that they will have to throw me off the course for me to get out of this race and not finish it. Like they literally have to get me out of this race themselves if they don't want me to like continue, right? That's what is going to happen. But I had that in my mind and genuinely believing it. And that's what it really comes down to. If you have something that you genuinely believe, and when I say genuinely believe, I mean you truly believe this, no matter what anybody says. And if you struggle to get to this point, you basically have to fucking almost be a little bit delusional and fucking go that deep for you to believe something like this. Because I bet you if this was anybody else, they would have probably stopped right there. It's easier to stop. It's always easier to stop, but you determine who you want to be. Ask yourself, who do I want to be in this situation? When they ask me for an ambulance, I'm like, who do I want to be? Do I want to be the guy that stops here and gets an ambulance, or do I want to be the guy that continues and punches through the wall? Right? That's what it comes down to. So my main thing for you guys is to understand that if you genuinely believe something, you're determined and you want to do it, no matter what it takes, you will achieve it. But you have to push yourself because it was the most brutal thing ever. And it was a roller coaster of emotions. And it's going to be no matter what situation you're in, you have to be prepared for it. I can tell you this, when I started running a 22nd kilometer, when there's fucking so much left, I'm basically halfway in and my body is cramping. I'm thinking in my mind, I have to limp for another half marathon. Like that is pretty crazy. I have to limp for another half marathon. I have to run 12 miles in this condition. Is this even possible? That's the question that is going through my mind. But then I remember, no, I'm going to do it no matter what. I'm going to do it if it's going to take me 4 more hours to do the half marathon or whatever. Like I have to do it. And that's really what it comes down to. Be prepared because it's not going to be easy, but it makes it easier to know that it's not going to be easy. I hope this helps. I'll have my Instagram down below. If you have any questions, I'll probably also leave a link to book a call with me if you need help with your business or your info, brand, whatever. Just chat with me whenever. I'll help you guys out. Besides that, thank you guys for the support. It's really been helpful, especially recently with the videos. It's doing pretty well and we can see the brand is growing. I'm very excited for the future. If you guys need anything, just send me a message on Instagram or leave a comment down below. I do really appreciate your guys' support and feedback. Other than that, I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.